Welcome back to At Home Learning with me, Adam Peterson. I'm so excited. Sorry, trying to get the music turned down here. So excited to be here with you all again. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope everybody is enjoying all the family time that you all have together. And I'm excited to get this week started off because we've got some great guests, and we're kicking off with one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. This lady is a genius when it comes to this at-home learning stuff with technology, and she's done some pretty cool things out there for teachers. But we're going to bring her on. This is my friend, my mentor, my boss, if that's what we want to call her, from my new role in this world. My dear friend, Dr. Lori Elliott. How are you, Lori?
Hey, I'm good. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I keep telling all the guests this, that yes, these are uncertain times and we don't know what's going on. It's a sad situation, but I'm not going to lie, the family time we've been enjoying has been pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It's been amazing because, I have grown kids, and we've been Zooming each other, and that has been fun. We've had family game night through Zoom, and we've been able to find some extra family time, even though we're all over the place, but it's been fun.
I saw your card games and board games with your kids. That's awesome. I'm glad they're staying in and staying healthy. So listeners, I'm going to put something in the comments right now if you want to check this out. These are a link to everything Lori's going to be talking about today. So if you want to pull it up and kind of follow along as we go. Yep. Parents, if you're in here and want to play along with your kids, go grab some cereal and gather around the computer or the phone, whatever you're watching this on. She's got it all, like the t-shirt.
You can imagine.
So I shared this last night, and I was kind of talking to Trisha, my wife, and she's like, "Who are your guests this week?" And I told her who's coming up, and she goes, "Food games, cereal game. That sounds fun." And I'm like, "Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like, I'm gonna leave this and want to go eat some cereal, but I'm trying not to." So
yeah, it was funny because when I was getting ready for it, I went to did my weekly to the grocery store thing, and I came back, and my husband was like, "Why do we have this? What is with this?" Because I bought like all kinds of different ones that I've used over the years, and now we have them in the pantry, and he's kind of excited because because we're old, we don't normally eat this anymore, but we have every kind of sugary, non-healthy cereal in the house, and so he's kind of excited about that.
I didn't even know they made alphabets anymore. That's awesome.
Let me tell you something. I had to look for this one, but if you can find them, you can do so many cool things with them. But I did find them at my local store. So
very cool. I'm gonna take myself off the screen and so we can see all your desk set up there, and I'm gonna let you share away because these ideas sound awesome.
Okay, good.
All right, tell us what you got.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I am so excited to share with you some of my favorite simple activities that deal with cereal, or you can use food. Obviously, we don't want you to waste food. We don't want you to, to buy something you don't need. But there, you can buy generic cereal for the games and the activities, or you can buy what you normally like. I have several that I'm just going to go through really fast. And I know Adam shared with you, I went ahead and just put together a handout because I thought that would be easiest for you as parents and as teachers to just go back and refer to those games. So I'm going to start with one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called Wordo. Wordo is a game that I always played with my students to practice spelling words and high frequency words. And the reason it came to mind is that they loved it every week because I would pull out either Fruit Loops or Apple Jacks or something. We would use those as counters. And so Wordo is like bingo. I actually gave you 2 Wordo boards. One has more spaces than the other one. And so all you want to do is, for the parent, just on some index cards or on a piece of paper, write different words that the kids are learning, whether it's spelling, vocabulary, or high frequency words. For little guys, it may be even letters. So a letter on each one, throw those in a bowl so that you have something to pull from, and then then ask the students, your child, to write the words in the box. So the reason it was so awesome in the classroom is this gave the kids an opportunity to practice writing their words. So they would put each, one word in each box, just like you would with bingo. One of the spaces, make it a free space, and then give them some kind of counters, give them some cereal. And as you're calling words, they find it on the board and they put their cereal there. And then 4 across or diagonally, and just like we played bingo, there's your winner for Wordo. So this is really simple. Take something we already know, but just add a little fun by adding our cereal as markers. All right. The second thing is for our little guys And one of the things that I'm following everybody on social media, we're really worried about screen time. So you can tell these things are like no screen time, although I got some awesome screen time things that I share other times, but I think it's important for us also to do things that are very hands-on. And with the little guys, one of the things we're worried about is fine motor skills. So I want you to think about, if you haven't already, making some cereal bracelets or some cereal necklaces. And they're really simple. And the way that I have always used them is I taught preschool when I first started teaching. And this was a really good way for kids to practice those fine motor skills, because they have to grab the cereal and then they have to thread it. And so you want to choose, if you want to make it a little bit harder, choose your something like Fruit Loops where there's multiple colors. And then they have to create a pattern. And then they put that on the pipe cleaner for the bracelet, or on some kind of yarn or string to make their necklace. And they'll just continue the pattern until they complete the whole thing, and then they can wear it. And so it's really fun, and it's, again, good for fine motor, so that works really, really well. That's one I've used with my littlest guys. The next one was always fun in the classroom as a station. And so what you're going to need is you're going to need either one dice, or you want to get a pair of die, and then you're going to have any kind of cereal. It really doesn't matter what it is. And so what you'll do is you'll ask the student to just roll the dice. And then once they've rolled the dice, if they're using one because they're younger, then they're just going to count out that number of pieces of cereal. And they can keep track of that if you want them to. I actually gave you a recording sheet if you want to do that. Or they can just practice. Roll, count out the cereal, start again, roll, count out the cereal. If you want to put two dice in here, you can make it a little bit harder. Roll the dice, they add them. Roll the dice, they multiply them, and then they count out the number of cereal. So real simple, things that you already have at your house, dice, pieces of cereal. On the recording sheet, if you do something with a little bit older students where you've had them roll, add the cereal, and you can also have them total. So maybe after 5 rounds, they total it so that they get the, the calculation of all the rounds that they have accomplished, and then they can start over again. So we've got Wordo, pattern necklaces and bracelets. Then we have what I call roll and count, which is great because you just roll, count out the cereal, do a little adding, do a little multiplication, okay? The next one I like to use something like Apple Jacks. And this could be for the whole family. So this is cereal stacking. If you've ever seen Oreo stacking competitions where you stack all the Oreos and see the tallest tower that you can build without it falling, that's great. But this is really simple with just cereal. And the reason I choose something like Apple Jacks is because they're round and obviously they will stack better. So one of the things that we used to do, I worked with junior high students in our church, and we did lots of minute to win it games. And so there's a couple minute to win it games you might think about, and one of them is cereal stacking. So give each person that's playing the game a stack of cereal, and then have them begin to stack them one on top of the other to try to build the tallest tower. And so you can time them, it can be until the cereal is gone. But oftentimes, obviously, the towers are going to topple, and so then they start over again. And so they can race to see who can stack the most cereal in a tall tower. And then if you want to keep track of that, they can count it each round and then decide what's their best personal record. So they can race with each other to stack them. They can race themselves to see what is their best personal record. So cereal stacking. Along with that, if you have a couple straws, another good family race is to put your cereal, make sure it's around Cheerios, Apple Jacks, Fruit Loops, something there with a hole in it. Put it on the table, give each person a straw, and then they try to put as many pieces of cereal on the straw without removing it and without using their hands, and only using the straw in their mouth. So they have to get to the table and try to weave those pieces of cereal onto the straw and see how many they can get in a couple of minutes. So that's kind of a fun family game. The third way we've done that, if you have large tongue depressors, this also works really well. Have each person put this in their mouth like that. And then remember we were talking about the cereal stacking. Have them try to stack it while this is in their mouth. So they have the tongue depressor, but this serves as the foundation, and they stack their cereal on top of this while it's sitting in their mouth. like that. And that's a really fun minute to win it game.
I'm totally playing that with my kids today. Like that. That's awesome. I'm excited about that one.
When you teach junior high kids, you do all kinds of crazy stuff, but they loved it. They loved it. So
right. Yeah, you know what I love about these two? Our mutual friend, Tara Martin, was on Friday with me, and she talked all about family discussion around the dinner table or anywhere in the house, but playing games like that. And I just think this just adds that family value. You're stepping away from, like you said, the screens, the worksheets, and you're just having some fun while enjoying family, but also doing some fun competition. It's cool.
Absolutely. And hopefully with things that you already have, like you probably already have some of these things laying around the house, or you could pick them up for very low cost or no, and then use that. So
right.
That's kind of fun. One more family game, Adam, then you guys would like this one. Okay, so you're going to need 2 cups, and you're going to do a relay. And so what you're going to do is each person's going to need, for each team, you need a cup, you need 2 cups and a spoon. And in one of the cups, you're going to fill it with cereal. And so this is a lot like at field day, when you go and the kids run and they get the water in the sponge and they run back and they push it into the cup. So this is a lot like that. At one end, you're going to have an empty cup, and at the beginning, you're going to have your cereal with a spoon. And so when you start your relay, they grab as much cereal only using the spoon, and they have to walk very quickly or run, however, and get to the end and try to put it in the cup. And whichever team gets the most cereal retrieved into their cups in the time limit, or by the time the rotations are over, then they're the winner. Now, you might think, oh, I'm just going to play this in the house, but they're going to be running with cereal and walking on top of that. So you might want to play it in your driveway. You might want to play it outside just so you don't have cereal crumbs everywhere. But it's a really simple relay, just cups and cups, and trying to move the cereal from one cup to the next. So that's kind of fun.
That's cool. And we've been trying to get outside as much as possible. This weekend was super rainy and wet outside, but what a fun way just to, I don't know. These are the cool part about these things is just so easy. And you and I have done workshops together and talked about this a lot. I want to, before, I don't want to ever to. Do you have another idea, or is that?
No, I got a couple more.
Okay. All right. I wanted to, before we went into those, bring up something about you that people need to know. And I know it's not in the near future, but we've talked a lot about my book that's coming out soon. Don't know release date yet, guys, but soon. But Lori herself is also working on a book all about a different PBL. So I've talked about play-based learning. Lori's a huge guru in project-based learning. And I cannot wait to see the final copy and see it and get it into all of your hands, because it's going to be an awesome way to build up some really cool community-style projects in your classroom. So I just had to give a shout out to that, Lori, because she's publishing it with Dave Burgess Consulting, just like mine is.
Yes, and I'm so excited. And it is finished. That was huge. So we got the manuscript. It's all turned in. We are in editing phase right now. And so we're really excited that hopefully we'll have title and cover here in a while, in a little bit. But everything's in motion, and I'm really excited to share all the cool stuff about project-based learning that I've been doing over the last 30 years, but also recently with a lot of the schools that I've been working at. And they've been doing so many incredible things. So it's my story, but it's also the story of other people, and I'm really excited to share that. So.
That's awesome, and I know your voice is going to shine through. That's one thing I absolutely love about Dave and the team is my book is. People have asked, they're like, so did you do a lot of research on it? I said, no, not really. This is my heart and 13 years of experience in a kindergarten classroom poured onto 140 pages for you all. Like it's a short read that's coming out. I had a proofreading session over the weekend, and I'm just excited. I'm so excited for you, because I know I can't wait to pair these together and see what we can do with the two.
They do. They work really well together. They absolutely do.
All right. Well, let's hear the other 2 ideas for the parents and teachers watching.
So a couple other things. One of the things is when you finish your cereal, whether it's this or healthy cereal, one of the things you might want to do is take your box and cut it, the front part of the box, cut it into puzzle pieces. So you can create puzzles just by taking your cereal box, cut the front part off, cut it into pieces, and then have your kids put it back together. Now, if you want to play as a family, take a couple of cereal boxes you're finished with, make a couple sets of puzzles, and then race each other to put it together. So that's also using the box as well as the stuff in the box. So that's a really great one. A couple other things non-cereal based. The first one I want to talk to you about is Cheez-Its. So Cheez-Its are great because they're really wonderful to help students understand about area. And so one of the things that we've done is in project-based learning, I have a lot of design challenges that students work with. So maybe it's design a playhouse, draw a playground, create, draw a house, and then figure out, what that would look like in terms of size and budget, etc. Well, one of the things you can do is have them sketch something like a house or an amusement park ride, and then determine the area. And if you want to work on perimeter, you can as well. But they draw it, and if you have grid paper, it's really lovely. And then they put the Cheez-Its on top of it to count how much area, because these are 1 inch by 1 inch. So they're square inches. And so they can get the understanding of the difference between area, what it covers, and then the area around it, which is the perimeter. And so just using Cheez-Its to cover their designs and then count up how many, square inches that they're using for their area is a really great way to get them used to kind of measurement. And the last one I have is because it is Easter. And Easter is my very, very favorite holiday of all favorite holidays. And so a couple of years ago, one of the things we were working with students is design process. And so we started thinking about having them do lots of STEM challenges. And one of those would be to create catapults. Now, you can create catapults using all kinds of things. In this example, what I typically give them is a lot of craft sticks, a plastic spoon, and some rubber bands. That's all that I do. And I have given them larger craft sticks as well, just in the mix to let them decide. I talk to them about what catapults are, and then I give them this baggie of craft sticks, rubber bands, plastic spoon, and then they create their own catapults. Now for Easter, what's fun about this is we call this the peep launch. And so you can grab yourself a package of peeps, and then after they've created their catapults, then they can put their peep here, and then you can launch them, and then you can see who goes the farthest, who goes the tallest, all those kind of good things. But they love it. They love making catapults, and I love just making the Easter spin on it just by using the peeps that we have that we can pick up at the grocery store. In the handout, I actually put the peep launcher recording sheet because we would practice it, and they would do lots of rounds of it to better their distance. And so they would go back sometimes and fix their actual catapult, or maybe they would change their skill level and try a different strategy to use their catapults to launch those peeps the farthest. So that's what I have, Adam.
I love that one. That's so much fun. And I want to point out, Lori, I don't know if you can see the comments, but Carla just commented and said, these are great. My students' social economic status is extremely low, so these are great for families. And that's so true. I mean, this is no tech. This is nothing you have to run out and buy. For families that don't have a closet full of board games, this is super easy to do. And I love that about your ideas, is that anyone can pick this up and run with it. So thank you for sharing those. That's awesome.
It was fun to go down memory lane and think about think about all the things that I've done, and there are several more in the handout, because I realized I did a lot of stuff with games and activities that deal with food and etc. So hopefully they have even some more stuff in that handout.
Yeah, so if you just jumped on, you're asking about the handout, it's in the comments. Look for the link. I'll post it again here at the end. But thank you to Lori. Thank you for everyone for watching. And any other questions, I put her website down at the bottom, Dr. Lori Elliott. That's Elliott with 2 L's, 2 T's. .com. You're going to find some really awesome ideas from her and some cool stuff there. So thank you, Lori. And we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Absolutely.